Hi guys, it's Cece. Today I'm going to be continuing my Caring for Cosplay Items series. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to care for your actual cosplays because I feel like this is a thing that's kind of overlooked. A lot of people talk about washing wigs and how to detangle them, but I've only actually seen 1 or 2 videos on how people actually wash and care for their cosplays and keep them in storage, because it's actually important to wash your sweaty costumes after you wear them at a convention. So I'm going to be showing you all the cosplays that I currently have as of April 5th, 2015. They're all in my closet and I'm going to be washing them, so I'll show you how I do that, how I store them, and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's jump right in. Okay, so the first and most important thing to remember when you're thinking about storing your cosplays is organization. You really don't want to be running around looking for all your pieces of your costume that are all over your house when it's the day before the con and you're trying to pack, or like the day of a photo shoot and you have to leave in 5 minutes and you can't find like your shirt or one shoe or like a hair clip or something. You want to try to keep it all together. So I actually picked up this method from Acceleration Cosplay. She's another YouTuber. She's really cool and she does a lot of cosplays too. So this is basically her method, so I'll show you guys what that is. So this is my closet where I keep all of my cosplay stuff. It's really just my regular closet, and like if you look in the back you can see some regular clothing. But most of it is for cosplay. So straight ahead from here all the way till here, these are all cosplays or cosplay related items. The only thing that's not a real cosplay is this, which is my maid dress. Some of my cosplays, as you may notice, have bags on them, and this is to keep all the accessories inside of, like, in one place. However, I don't keep the shoes in those bags because they're really heavy, so what I do with my shoes is I just keep them all down here on these little shoe racks. I always keep the pairs together so that I don't lose any of them. It's kind of messy because I don't have a lot of space, as you guys will probably notice, but I do my best to keep all the shoes together and I know what shoes go with which costumes. And then for more fragile items that I don't just want to throw in a bag, I have this top shelf reserved for either really bulky items like my Foxy tail over there, or just fragile items like my Nekomimi, my Soul Gem, and my Kanaya horns. So those stay up there, so they're out of the way and they don't get crushed when I push all my costumes together or just like stepped on or something. Okay, so this is my QB cosplay. It's just on a regular hanger, and then I have a bag for this costume. So I'm going to pull apart this costume off the hangers and I'm going to decide what pieces I need to wash and what pieces I don't need to wash. Okay. First is my cape. This cape was not immediately touching my body except for the neck area. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just gonna spot clean the collar of the cape because there's actually pink hair dye on it a little bit. But this cape has battery packs in it because it lights up, so I actually can't wash the whole thing safely without removing all of the wiring and stuff that's inside of it, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you can and can't wash. This is the main dress of QB. This whole thing was touching me, so I'm going to just wash this whole thing. I know that it's okay to wash because it's just a stretch knit, and yeah. And then this is the bag that I keep with my QB costume. You can definitely use shopping bags or plastic bags or whatever. I just happen to have a whole ton of fabric bags that I don't use for anything, so I decided to use them for this purpose. So inside we have all my accessories. So I have both of my ears inside of this. These don't need to be washed, obviously. I have this belt, which doesn't need to be washed. I have some bracelets, which I'm not going to pull out, and then I have my tights. Now, these I actually machine washed in cold water. I dyed them myself, and I didn't want to get dye all over my sink, but I would definitely recommend hand washing dyed items instead of putting them in the washer like I did, but these are already clean, so I don't need to wash these. Another costume that I'm going to be washing today is my Len Kagamine Punkish version. So in here, all the accessories with my Nerdy Naruto bag that I won for competing at Amki a few years ago. But nothing in here has to be washed. I think it's just belts and like those arm sleeves and stuff, so I'm gonna put that over there. And then the rest of the costume is really just a leotard and some shorts. So both of these items are going to be completely washed because they were touching my body directly and I feel comfortable washing them. And then you're just going to basically do that for all of your costumes that you need to wash. If you have a situation where you don't want to wash the entire costume for some reason, maybe the fabric is delicate or something like that, you have two options. You can either spot clean it like I'm doing with my cape and also my page costume, which I didn't show you, or you can dry clean it. I personally choose not to do that because I don't have costumes that are super duper delicate that I have to dry clean, but that is always an option for you. Okay, so here we are in my bathroom. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your sink is clean. I cleaned mine a while ago because I also was washing wigs this weekend, so I already know that my sink is clean. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill it with lukewarm, warm water. Now when it's partway full, I'm actually going to use regular old laundry detergent. I use Free and Gentle because I have sensitive skin, and so does like everybody else in my family. I believe I usually use about 2 tablespoons, but I don't have any tablespoon measuring stuff down here. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and if I need more, then I can add more. So continue filling your sink and such. Okay, so now that my sink is full enough, the first thing I'm going to wash that I'll demonstrate with is my maid apron for my maid costume. There's some chocolate on this, which has been on there for like a year, so it probably won't come out because I've been neglecting washing this. But really, you just want to submerge it and just kind of lightly rub it around. Try to find, if there's dirt spots on it like I have on mine, try to rub those out gently. And really just, you want to be very gentle with your whole costume and such because you worked really hard on it and you don't want to ruin it by washing it too hard. Now since I'm washing a whole bunch more stuff, normally if you're just washing 1 or 2 things, you're going to want to drain the sink and rinse these out right away. But I'm washing a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm actually just going to leave this and rinse this out in just a second. So now if there's something that you don't want to get completely wet for whatever reason, like here I have my Foxy pants, and these have some wires and hot glue on them, so I don't want to get the whole thing wet. But I do know that it's dirty because the bottom part of my pants was in a pool. So what I'm going to do is just wet the part that needs to get washed and just scrub only that part. If you're working on a smaller area, you can use something like a toothbrush or a wet washcloth to do the job also if you don't want to just dunk your garment in the water. But you can do whatever you are comfortable with your particular costume. And you just want to do that for all the costumes that you have to wash. I forgot to film this, but when you rinse out your costumes after they're all soapy and stuff, you just want to rinse them out in warm or cold or whatever kind of water and squeeze it to make sure all the suds are out. And yeah, that's it. Just rinse it.
Okay, so after you have rinsed out your costumes, you're just going to want to squeeze them as much as you can, get as much water out as you possibly can. And if you have a clothesline, I would recommend hanging them up on there, but I don't have a clothesline, so I just draped my items out on the deck. Please don't machine dry your costumes, that's really bad for them. Let them air dry, and they'll also smell really nice afterwards, so that is a plus.
Okay, so it is the next day and most of my costumes have dried. The only ones that are still wet are my Paige costume and my Hubie costume. Those 2 costumes have double layered stretch in it, so it absorbed a lot of water, so they're still drying in my bathroom. But anyway, all my costumes are nice and clean and ready to be put back on the hangers. So I'm going to talk to you about how I store my costumes. Like I mentioned before, I have these bags with all kinds of stuff relating to the costume inside. This is my punkish Len costume. I have like the arm warmers in here, the leg warmers, the choker, and 2 belts. So that will go there for now. And some people have those hangers where you can hook on the like pants clip ones. I personally don't like those. So what I do is I just fold the bottoms. I just drape it over this like bottom rail. So they're folded, kind of, and they'll stay pretty nice in storage. One other thing is while you're putting your costumes away, pay attention to see if anything is ripped or needs to be repaired. Like with these shorts, when I was washing it, I noticed that a few stitches that I did to keep this cuff in place have come undone. So I'm going to have to either write myself a note to fix that or just do it now before I forget to. And then we have my leotard. This, I don't really know how to explain how I do this. I just sort of slip the bottoms inside the leotard so that the hanger can go where it needs to go. And once it's on there, I just make sure that the shorts are still nicely folded. And then this is my Len costume, ready to be hung up. And I just throw the bag on the back there. And now this is clean. It smells like outside, which is really nice. So now I know that next time I wear this costume, it's going to be ready to go. You can go ahead and do this for all the rest of your costumes. And that is how I wash and store and take care of all my cosplay costumes. A few things I forgot to mention. Number one, I've seen a lot of people put garment bags or trash bags over their costumes while they're in storage. I tend not to do that because I actually wear my costumes a lot. I go to a lot of events and photo shoots and stuff like that and just wear them around for like makeup tutorials and things like that. So I don't put garment bags on my costumes, but you can definitely do that if you feel the need to. I don't have a lot of experience with large props because I'm not a prop builder per se. I'm more of a seamstress. But I do have one prop that's fairly large. It's a staff that I use for my Princess Cadance costume, and that leans up against one of the walls in my closet. One of my good friends made these huge wings for my friend's Devil Homura costume. I think they have like a 10-foot wingspan, but they like fold in. So I believe she just keeps those in her basement, like propped up against a wall. I'm sure there's a lot better ways to keep your props safe and stuff like that, but just keep in mind when you're building things that you have to actually store them somewhere, so make sure that you have adequate space for that when you're building things. But yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you next week. Bye!